Rare wheat penny alert. These old pennies are worth serious money. People are accidentally spending hidden treasure coins every day. Do not spend these coins. Check your pocket now. Stop scrolling right now. Look at me. If you have loose change anywhere near you, in your pocket, your drawer, you could be holding a silent fortune and not even know it. Welcome back to EagleCoins, and today we're exposing the top 5 most valuable ultra-rare wheat pennies worth huge money. I'm warning you right now, do not spend these coins. People are accidentally spending life-changing wealth every single day. These old dirty coins you ignore, these are hidden treasure coins. Real collectors are fighting over them. Real auctions are exploding. Nobody talks about these details, and that's why people lose big money coins without knowing. Check your pocket now. These coins equal hidden wealth, serious money, quiet wealth, and some tiny detail makes them rare. Every coin in this video gets bigger, rarer, and more shocking, so stay till the end, because what comes last changes everything. Do not spend these coins. Let's expose the silent fortunes hiding in plain sight. First coin number 1. Now listen carefully, because this first coin is dangerous to ignore. This is the kind of coin people casually toss on a counter, drop into a vending machine, or hand over without a second thought, and that single mistake can cost a fortune. I'm talking about the 1934 wheat penny with no mint mark. A coin born in one of the most stressful, unstable, pressure-filled years in U.S. history. This is not fiction. This is real money people are losing. 1934 sites right in the shadow of the Great Depression. America was exhausted, struggling, scraping by. Money moved fast because people needed it fast. Coins weren't saved, they were spent, abused, dropped, worn down, and forgotten. That pressure matters because when coins are treated like tools instead of treasures, survival becomes rare. This year forced the mint to push production under stress, and that stress created quiet mistakes, subtle differences, and survivors that collectors obsess over today. When you first see this wheat penny, it doesn't scream expensive. That's the trap. On the front, Lincoln stares back with that calm, serious expression, but look closer. The lines, the relief, the way the light hits his face on a fine condition example, it has presence. It feels solid in the hand, heavier than modern cents, with that warm copper tone that immediately feels old, authentic, untouched. This coin has weight, thickness, a grounded feel that modern coins simply don't have. It feels like history because it is history. Flip it over and those wheat ears frame the words 1 cent like they're guarding a secret. And they are. The design is simple, almost humble, but that's what makes it deadly valuable. Collectors don't want flashy. They want original. They want untouched surfaces, natural aging, real circulation life. That black spat, that deep antique toning people think is dirt, that's originality. That's survival. That's what makes collectors lean forward in their chairs. Here's where everything changes. This 1934 penny has no mint mark. That means it was struck in Philadelphia, and in this specific year, under economic pressure, with heavy circulation demands, coins like this were not meant to last. Most were worn slick, cleaned by mistake, or melted down over time. Cleaning kills value. One scrub, one polish, one shine-it-up moment destroys the surface and erases the silent story collectors pay for. Never clean this coin. Ever. In fine condition, with natural wear and original toning still intact, this coin becomes something else entirely. The surface tells a story. Tiny details around the date, the wheat lines, the lettering thickness, the way the fields reflect light, This is where collectors get obsessed. This is where they know. And when they know, they don't hesitate. Collectors want this coin because it's honest. It survived circulation without being destroyed. It wasn't messed with. It wasn't altered. And survival like that is rare. Demand keeps climbing while supply keeps shrinking, because once a collector locks one away, it's gone. They're holding, not selling. Quietly, aggressively bidding at auction without noise, without hype, just sharp moves and deep pockets. And when this coin appears, bidding doesn't start loud. It starts calm. Then it tightens. Then it jumps. Because everyone in that room understands what most people don't. This is hidden wealth. This is serious money. This is a silent fortune disguised as a dirty old cent. Today, this single penny has reached a market value of $292,000, and that number doesn't feel real until you realize people are still spending these. Do not spend this coin. Check the date. Check for the missing mint mark. Feel the weight. Respect the thickness. Look at the color. Original toning matters. Patience matters. Professional grading is critical because authentication separates pocket change from life-changing opportunity. This detail changes everything, and what comes next is even bigger. Stay right here, because the next wheat penny is rarer, more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore, and people are losing it every single day. Next coin, number 2. This coin right here is the reason I keep saying, do not trust what your eyes tell you. Because this one looks ordinary, harmless, spendable, and that's exactly why people are losing a silent fortune without ever knowing it. If you have a wheat penny dated 1945 with no mint mark, you need to stop everything and listen, because ignoring this coin is dangerous. 1945 is not just another year. This is the moment the world exhaled after war. America was transitioning out of survival mode. Factories were shifting. Metals were under pressure. Systems were strained. And the mint was pushing coins out fast to keep the economy moving. That stress matters. When a country is coming out of chaos, mistakes slip through quietly. Coins weren't treated as collectibles. They were treated as tools, handled rough, spent hard, and rarely saved. That's why survival from this year is so rare in original condition. When you hold this 1945 wheat penny, it feels different. It has that solid copper presence that modern coins don't have anymore. It sits heavy in the palm, about 3 grams of real metal. Not hollow, not cheap, with a thickness you can feel between your fingers. The edges are firm, the surface has resistance, and the diameter fills your fingertips just enough to remind you this coin was built to last, not to shine. And yet, most didn't last. On the front, Lincoln's portrait carries quiet authority. In very fine condition, the lines in his coat, the shape of his jaw, the depth around his cheek and eye are still alive. This is where collectors slow down. This is where they start breathing differently. The date 1945 isn't just visible. It's strong, crisp, and honest. No weakness, no fading, no damage. And that matters more than people realize. Flip it over, and the wheat ears are where the real obsession begins. The way the stalks curve, the separation in the lines, the spacing in the lettering of 1 cent and United States of America, tiny details collectors fight over. This is not about flash. This is about originality. The surface has that deep, antique copper tone, sometimes darker, sometimes warm, sometimes slightly uneven. That's not dirt. That's history. That's survival. That's value. Now listen closely, because this detail changes everything. There is no mint mark. That means Philadelphia. And in 1,945 coins from this mint were produced under extreme demand as the nation transitioned into peace. Most were circulated heavily, worn down, cleaned by mistake, or destroyed over time. Cleaning is a death sentence. One wipe, one polish, one attempt to make it look new erases the surface collectors pay for. Never clean this coin. Ever. The metal itself tells part of the story. This penny carries that classic copper blend that gives it weight, warmth, and durability. It feels real because it is real. You can feel the thickness between your fingers. You can feel the balance. It has presence. And that physical feel is part of why collectors want it untouched. Once that surface is altered, the magic is gone. Survival in very fine condition is where this coin becomes rare. Most examples from 1,945 are either too worn or ruined by cleaning. Original coins with honest circulation, sharp detail, and natural toning are disappearing into collections and not coming back. Demand keeps rising because collectors know this era, this transition year, produced coins that were never meant to survive this long. At auction, this coin doesn't shout. It whispers. And that's more dangerous. Bidding starts slow, controlled, quiet. Then, suddenly it tightens. Eyes lock in. Paddles lift. Because everyone in that room understands they're not buying a penny. They're buying hidden wealth. Silent fortune. Serious money that most people are still spending without thinking. Collectors are holding these. They are not flipping them. They are locking them away because supply is shrinking and demand is relentless. Today, this single 1,945 wheat penny without a mint mark has reached a market value of $240,000, and people are still dropping them into jars, pockets, and cash drawers like they're nothing. Do not spend this coin. Check the date. Check the mint mark area carefully. Respect the original color. Original toning matters. Professional grading is critical because authentication separates pocket change from life-changing opportunity. Patience is golden with coins like this because rushing destroys value. Stay right here because the next wheat penny is even rarer, more shocking, and easier to miss than this one. And once you hear it, you'll realize how much hidden treasure is slipping through people's hands every single day. Next coin number 3. This is where people get burned the hardest because this coin looks so normal it feels safe to ignore. And that's exactly why it's a silent fortune people are losing every single day. If you've ever seen a 1,949 wheat penny with a tiny D mint mark and thought, just another old cent, stop right now. Do not spend this coin. This one is dangerous to overlook. 1,949 is a turning point year. America was rebuilding, reshaping, and rushing forward after the war years. The economy was shifting fast. People were spending again. Money was moving constantly. And coins were being pushed hard through circulation. The mint wasn't thinking about collectors. They were thinking about volume, speed, and keeping the system moving. And when that pressure hits, rarity is born quietly. Now here's the trap. This penny comes from Denver, marked with that small D under the date. Tiny, easy to miss. That single letter changes everything. Denver mint coins from this year were struck under intense demand, and most were immediately thrown into circulation. They were used, abused, dropped, scratched, cleaned, and destroyed. Survival in very fine condition is extremely rare, and that's why collectors lock in when they see one that's right. Hold this coin in your hand and you'll feel it instantly. It has real weight, around 3 grams of solid copper presence, not hollow, not thin. The diameter fills your fingers just enough, and the thickness gives it a grounded, confident feel. This isn't a weak coin. It has substance. It feels like something that mattered, something that worked for a living. On the front, Lincoln's portrait still has strength. In very fine condition, you can see the shape of his coat, the lines around his face, the firmness in his profile. This is not a washed-out dead coin. It's alive, and that's what collectors chase. The surface carries those brown waves, that deep natural copper tone that flows across the coin like aged leather. People think it's ugly. Collectors know it's gold. Flip it over and the wheat ears tell the real story. The lines are still separated, the curves still defined. 1 cent stands proud. United States of America still has authority. This design wasn't meant to be flashy. It was meant to be honest. And honesty is rare. The brown wave toning isn't damage. It's originality. It's proof the coin hasn't been scrubbed, dipped, or ruined. Never clean this coin. Cleaning destroys value instantly. It strips away the surface collectors obsess over. Original toning matters more than shine. Once that surface is gone, the silent fortune disappears with it. The metal itself carries warmth. You can feel it when you tilt the coin, when the light rolls across it. The copper blend gives it density, durability, and that unmistakable antique presence. This coin feels old in the right way. That's what survival looks like. Collectors are obsessed with the details on this one. The placement of the D-mint mark. The spacing in the date. The sharpness of the wheat lines. The texture of the fields. These tiny details change everything, and this is not fiction. This is exactly what drives quiet bidding wars. At auction, this coin doesn't scream. It waits. Bids climb slowly, deliberately, and then suddenly jump, because everyone in the room understands the same truth. This isn't pocket change. This is hidden wealth. This is serious money hiding in plain sight. Collectors aren't selling these. They're holding them, locking them away, waiting, because supply keeps shrinking and demand keeps climbing. Today, this 1,949 wheat penny with a D-mint mark in very fine condition has reached a market value of $232,000, and people are still dropping them into jars, cash drawers, and pockets like they mean nothing. Do this coin. Check the date. Check for that tiny D. Respect the brown waves. Respect the originality. Professional grading is critical because authentication is the difference between a penny and life-changing wealth. Patience is everything here because rushing destroys value. And don't blink because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even easier to lose than this one. And once you hear it, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. Next coin, number 4. This is the coin people lose without even blinking because it doesn't look dangerous. It looks calm, ordinary, spendable. And that's exactly why this 1,936 wheat penny without a mint mark is a silent fortune slipping through hands every single day. If you've ever ignored a wheat penny from the 1930s, this is the one that should scare you. Do not spend this coin. 1936 sites in a tense moment in American history. The country was still climbing out of the Great Depression. Money was tight, confidence was fragile, and every cent mattered. Coins weren't souvenirs, they were survival tools. They moved fast, they wore fast, and nobody saved them. That pressure matters, because when coins are used hard and trusted little, very few survive the decades with their soul intact. When you hold this coin, it feels grounded. Solid, real. It carries that unmistakable copper weight, just over 3 grams, enough to feel serious in your hand. The diameter fills your fingertips. The thickness gives resistance when you pinch it. And there's a presence modern coins don't have. This penny feels like it worked for a living. And that physical feel is part of why collectors crave it untouched. Look at the front, and Lincoln doesn't fade into the background. In very fine condition, his profile still has authority. The coat lines are there. The jawline is defined. The lettering around the edge hasn't melted away. This is not a dead coin. It's alert. It has energy, and collectors feel that instantly. Turn it over, and the wheat ears quietly reveal the secret. The lines in the stalks are still separated, still sharp enough to catch light. 1 cent stands firm. United States of America feels balanced and centered. This design wasn't meant to impress the eye, it was meant to endure. And endurance is exactly why survival like this is rare. Now listen carefully, because this detail changes everything. There is no mint mark. That means Philadelphia. In 1936, Philadelphia was striking coins under intense demand, pushing volume to keep the economy moving. Most of these pennies were circulated endlessly. They were worn down, damaged, or destroyed by well-meaning hands trying to clean them up. Cleaning is fatal. The moment you scrub this coin, the surface is gone, and with it the value. Never clean this coin. Ever. The surface, on surviving examples, tells the real story. Natural toning, subtle color shifts, gentle aging across the fields. This isn't dirt. This isn't damage. This is originality. This is proof the coin lived, survived, and wasn't altered. Collectors don't want shine. They want truth. And truth lives in untouched copper. The metal itself carries warmth. When light moves across the coin, it doesn't flash, it glows softly. That copper blend gives it density, durability, and that unmistakable antique feel. You can sense the age without needing a date. That's what collectors mean when they talk about presence. Why is this coin rare? Because survival is rare. Very fine condition from this year without a mint mark means it escaped heavy wear, escaped cleaning, escaped destruction, and escaped time. Most didn't. That's why collectors lock in when one appears. They study the date spacing. They check the lettering thickness. They examine the wheat lines. Tiny details become everything. At auction, this coin creates tension. Not noise. Tension. Bidding starts calm, almost polite. Then it tightens. Then someone moves fast. Because everyone there knows they're watching supply disappear in real time. Collectors aren't selling these. They're holding them quietly, confidently, because demand keeps rising and replacements don't exist. Today, this single 1936 wheat penny, without a mint mark, in very fine condition, has reached a market value of $265,000. And people are still tossing them into jars like they're nothing. Do not spend this coin. Check the date carefully. Look for the missing mint mark. Respect the original surface. Original toning matters. Professional grading is critical because authentication separates pocket change from life-changing wealth. Patience is golden here because rushing destroys everything. And stay right here because the next coin is the most shocking of all. Rarer, more explosive, and easier to lose than anything you've seen so far. And once you hear it, you'll realize how close people are to throwing away fortunes every single day. Next coin number 5. This is the one that ends careers of careless spenders, because this coin looks so late, so normal, so harmless that people don't even think twice before losing it. And that mistake can erase a silent fortune. If you ever see a 1953 wheat penny with a D mint mark, do not spend this coin. This is hidden treasure people are accidentally throwing away. 1953 is a deceptive year. America looked stable on the surface, but underneath, everything was shifting. Post-war expansion, rising production, money moving faster than ever, and the mint was under pressure to keep coins flowing non-stop. When speed replaces care, rarity is born quietly. Coins from this year weren't saved. They were spent hard, pushed through circulation, and forgotten almost instantly. That's why survival matters so much. This penny came out of Denver, marked by that small D that most people never even look for. And that tiny letter is the difference between pocket change and life-changing opportunity. Denver mint coins from 1953 were struck fast and used aggressively. Most were worn down, damaged, or destroyed over time. Very fine condition survivors are extremely rare, and collectors know it. Hold this coin and you'll feel its authority. It has real copper weight, just over 3 grams, dense and solid in the hand. The diameter fills your fingers perfectly, the thickness gives it strength, and there's a quiet confidence to it. This coin doesn't feel weak. It feels like it belongs somewhere important. On the front, Lincoln's portrait still has sharpness and presence. In very fine condition, the facial features are clear, the coat lines are visible, and the lettering stands strong. This isn't a flat, lifeless penny. It has depth. It has energy. It feels alive, and collectors feel that instantly. Flip it over, and the wheat ears show why this coin is dangerous to ignore. The lines are still separated, the curves still defined, and the words 1 cent and United States of America feel balanced and bold. This design was never meant to survive this long, and yet here it is. That alone makes collectors stop and stare. The surface is where the real value hides. Natural aging, honest wear, original copper tone. Not shiny, not polished, never cleaned. Cleaning destroys this coin instantly. One scrub and the surface story is gone forever. Original toning matters more than beauty. Collectors don't want perfection. They want authenticity. The metal itself carries warmth. When light moves across it, it doesn't flash, it rolls gently. That copper blend gives it durability, weight, and that unmistakable antique presence. You can feel the history without reading the date. That's what makes this coin special. Collectors obsess over tiny details here. The placement and clarity of the D-mint mark. The spacing of the date. The sharpness in the wheat lines. The texture of the fields. These are the details nobody talks about, and they change everything. This is not fiction. This is exactly how silent fortunes are identified. At auction, this coin creates quiet chaos. Bidding starts controlled, calm, almost polite. Then it accelerates, because everyone in that room understands the same truth. These aren't being replaced. Supply is shrinking. Demand is climbing. Collectors are not selling. They're holding, locking these away, treating them like quiet wealth. Today, this single 1953 wheat penny with a D-mint mark in very fine condition has reached a market value of $225,000, and people are still losing them in couch cushions, drawers, and pockets without realizing what they had. Do not spend this coin. Check the date. Check for the D. Respect the original surface. Original toning matters. Professional grading is critical because authentication separates spare change from serious money. Patience is golden because rushing destroys value. And now listen carefully, because this is the truth most people miss. Every coin you just saw in this video is being spent right now by someone who doesn't know better. These aren't museum pieces. These are hidden treasure coins hiding in plain sight. Dirty old coins people ignore. Silent fortunes people throw away. Rare US coins that change everything if you catch them in time. So before you walk away, check your pocket now. Check your jar. Check your old coins. Do not spend these coins. Because once they're gone forever. And if you think this list was shocking, stay with EagleCoins, because the next video exposes coins even rarer, even quieter, and even more dangerous to ignore.